Welcome back to this Real America's Voice News Break. I'm Terrence Bates. President Trump headed to Pennsylvania this afternoon to participate in the Defense and Innovation Summit. Today's event comes just one day after Senate Democrats shot down the annual reauthorization of the National Defense Authorization Act, which funds pay raises for our troops and critical military equipment. Rav Washington correspondent Neil McCabe joining me now live from the U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, where the president is going to be hosting today's summit. Neil, good to see you. The summit already underway. There's a panel happening behind you. What's been the discussion so far in advance of the president's arrival?
Is the man that keeps introducing. Come on out.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic collection of buyers and sellers and thinkers and politicians and financial people, and very successful so far. And of course, the president will be speaking today, later on this afternoon. This is the second Pennsylvania summit that they're having for defense and innovation. But what's also interesting is that at the same time as this conference is going on, the Aspen Security Forum is going on in Colorado, and that's sort of like the establishment, globalist, left-wing security forum. And this is set up really as that America First alternative. And so that's one of the reasons why you're seeing so many members of the administration here and virtually none of the members of the administration in Aspen, Terrence.
Neil, during this summit, there's obviously lots of talking, but there will also, I understand, be a call to action from President Trump today.
Well, the president's going to talk about, obviously, we expect him to preview his speech for Thursday, but he's also going to talk about what it's like to actually be fighting a war and dealing with these defense companies who have made billions of dollars doing business with the Pentagon, but they have fallen short through the acquisition process and the stockpiling and the production. And so, we're looking at, you look at all the Tomahawks that we've expended and fired in our hostilities with Iran. It might take 4 years to restore that inventory of Tomahawks based on the current process and systems that we have now. And so Secretary of War Hegseth and President Trump are really struggling to turn that around and sort of cut that production time and to make these defense contractors more responsive to the actual needs of the United States military.
And Neil, the administration's timing is impeccable, particularly given the Senate's failure to pass and fund the NDAA yesterday. That's going to be, I can only imagine, it's got to be a huge part of the conversation there.
I think that was more done to prompt a conversation between sort of the senators and the administration. It's been kind of hostile between the White House and the Senate Republican leadership the last few months. In the end, the president will get his budget. It's very, very difficult to deny the president of the United States what he says he needs for the military, especially when U.S. forces are in kinetic action halfway around the world. Senate Republicans, they have the votes to do it. It's just a matter of, there's going to be some nick and tuck and some parry and thrust. But in the end, the president will get what he says he needs.
All right. Neil McCabe reporting for us from Carlisle, Pennsylvania, in advance of President Trump's arrival here in just a couple of hours. Neil, appreciate you being here.
Business coming together with the government.
And in other headlines this afternoon, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency is back in the headlines after several deadly incidents in recent weeks. As a result, the Trump administration is now ordering ICE agents to suspend most vehicle stops. The policy change comes after 2 deadly shootings during traffic stops in the last week have revived criticism of the agency's tactics. In both cases, the agents claim that they acted in self-defense after the suspects became aggressive. On Tuesday, a third man died while trying to flee ICE agents in Florida. Investigators say the 28-year-old was run over by a tractor trailer. While ICE agents are being limited in their policing ability, vehicle stops will be allowed under special circumstances like executing a criminal warrant or working with partner agencies. That's a quick check of your headlines. As always, we appreciate having you along for the ride. I'm Terrence Bates. Now, let's get you back to your regularly scheduled programming.
It's me, Ricky. You know me. You grew up with me. I'm 56 and a half years of age. I am using this
Our country is under attack.
The America we know is at risk of not being that way.
The radical left wants to destroy America.
We're not going to let that happen.
The younger generation needs you to stand up and lead.
It's an inside-out strategy.
This is more than an organization. This is a movement.
We're here to save the country.
AMAC is a family, over 2 million patriots strong.
I am an AMAC member, by the way.
AMAC gives you the training, resources, and tools to be a citizen soldier.
Each one of us can make a difference, and that's what AMAC shows every day.
Plus, real benefits like travel discounts, insurance, and Medicare guidance. We are stronger together.
Our rights don't come from government. Our rights come from God.
RAV family, let's stand with AMAC.
To extinguish all the evil that we see around us.
Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV and let's take our country back together.
deserve it and need it. So no, this is absolutely outrageous. What was as outrageous in our hearing, and I give Chairman Paul a lot of credit for holding this hearing. Nick Shirley, James O'Keefe, the witness from Pogo, good witnesses. Only one Democrat showed up, and that was Ranking Member Peters, mainly to denigrate Nick Shirley's efforts. And then he left. Yep. Not one Democrat asked questions. They're completely incurious about fraud and what we could do to prevent it. And of course, the estimates are somewhere between $250 billion and $1 trillion a year per year of fraud out of our $7 trillion a year budget. If you can't be interested in that, it just shows Democrats want to spend money. They could care less that we're mortgaging our children's future. They could care less that fraud is rampant.
It's just amazing. So I want to go through the larger picture that we're beginning to see. You have done so much work to connect various things together because, they come out piecemeal. But at the end of the day, the Justice Department, the FBI, and intelligence can be started on, we're going to try to pretend, even though there's no evidence of it, that Donald Trump's a stooge of Russia and Vladimir Putin. And then when you finally got that blown up in 2018 and 19 with the Mueller report and the other things, the first signs of Joe Biden and his family were running a crooked operation overseas, compliments of Hunter Biden begin. And then all of a sudden, the intelligence committee flips and does the protection racket, which is we're going to protect the people from the truth that Hunter Biden was doing these things in China or Ukraine, and people are then censored. We move from besmirching a presidential candidate to censoring Americans to find out another one had a legal and ethical problem. Have we done anything to make a dent in the ability of the intelligence and law enforcement community to stop this behavior going forward?
It's difficult. I mean, you have deep state actors. Yeah. They're generally of the left. They support Democrats. They are opposed to Republicans. They'll do everything they can to sabotage President Trump and his appointees from doing their job. They look at a Republican administration and just basically say, this too shall pass. We'll wait him out. We'll sabotage the efforts. We don't agree with them. So it's a real problem. That's why Republicans have to keep winning the presidency time and time again, or else the radical left just come right back. They've already got their actors in there, and they'll just carry on their merry ways, destroying this country.
Yeah. Well,
before we let you go, sir, how many more terms would it take to actually root this out? Does it mean another 8 years by another Republican president and then maybe another 8 years after that?
Yeah, I think so. When we're talking about fraud, one of my points made is, I've been supportive of inspector generals and GAO, but it just hasn't worked. You pass all these laws, whistleblower protection, and then the agencies completely ignore it, and whistleblowers still get retaliated against. What you need is basic private sector controls, like DOGE was implemented in the Treasury Department. Have a payment code associated to every payment, so we at least know that it's justified. I mean, they're just basic things. Chairman Paul did a pretty good job of rattling off all the things the private sector does. I mean, credit card companies, within seconds, determine this could be a fraudulent transaction. Why can't we do that in government? Well, it's because, quite honestly, Democrats don't want that kind of control in there. They want to just throw money, ship money out the door, send it to states. States have no skin in the game. Politicians in the states love to provide benefits to their constituents. They love hey, we've increased the number of people on Medicaid by X percent. They don't care whether they're eligible or not. They don't care that we're mortgaging our kids' future. So you have to institute those basic controls. States have to have skin in the game. You cannot just block grant federal money to the states because they won't control it.
Senator, 35 years ago, I came to this town. I met a wily Wisconsin senator named Bill Proxmire. And he said to me, if you want to stop the corruption in government, just cut it in half. It'll save the taxpayers and you won't have as much corruption. I've never forgotten that line. You're the only other Wisconsin senator I can ever remember who has said the same thing. Such a great honor to have you on the show, my friend.
And Bill Proxmire was a Democrat. Where are the Bill Proxmire Democrats? God, I would love a Bill Proxmire in the Senate.
This is Fubo. It's your way to watch ESPN and other top sports networks.
Our country is under attack.
The America we know is at risk of not being that way.
The radical left wants to destroy America.
We're not going to let that happen.
The younger generation needs you to stand up and lead.
It's an inside-out strategy.
This is more than an organization. This is a movement.
We're here to save the country.
AMAC is a family, over 2 million patriots strong.
I am an AMAC member, by the way.
AMAC gives you the training, resources, and tools to be a citizen soldier.
Each one of us can make a difference, and that's what AMAC shows every day.
Plus, real benefits like travel discounts, insurance, and Medicare guidance. We are stronger together.
Our rights don't come from government. Our rights come from God.
RAV family, let's stand with AMAC.
To extinguish all the evil that we see around us.
Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV and let's take our country back together.
When it's breaking,
We're moving.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
News doesn't sleep. At Real America's Voice, we don't get to crash or lose focus. That's why we drink Soldier Fuel to stay ahead of the chaos, because we do this for you.
So good.
Soldier Fuel has no sugar, so no crash.
Now that's a game changer.
Here we go, all of us.
Wow, that's good.
I'm fueled up now.
Used by the U.S. military every day. Now available to you.
This is huge.
Built by patriots for patriots.
Now it's time for you to do the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Order Soldier Fuel, film yourself cracking one open, and taking the Soldier Fuel Challenge. Upload your video at soldierfuel.com/challenge, and you'll be entered to win a free shipment of Soldier Fuel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Your video could also be featured on air. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to soldierfuel.com/challenge to enter. Drink with the RAV hosts drink. Soldier Fuel.
Let's go.
This is Tim King, also known as USS Malik, and I love Real America's Voices for its like-minded programming and the chat. Love you guys.
I'm Terry from New Jersey, and I just want to say that I love Real America's Voice. I love you guys. Keep up the good work.
My name is Phoebe, and I live in Florida. I love Real America's Voice. They truly speak for the people, and that's what real patriotism is all about.
Like I said, Senator John Ossoff is one of the two senators from Georgia that we've heard rumors on the internet, and they're just rumors, so we're clear on this, that both Ossoff and Warnock, Raphael Warnock, the other senator from Georgia, could be declared as illegitimate. The suggestion being that the election of 2020 November and then the runoff election in January of 2021 were both fraudulently declared. Senator Ossoff panicking that he may be declared illegitimate when voter fraud is exposed. This happened during the hearing for DNI nominee Jay Clayton yesterday on Capitol Hill. Listen.
That Director Gabbard was present at the Fulton County raid in Georgia earlier this year?
You discussed that with me yesterday in your office.
Are you aware that Director Gabbard was present at the Fulton County raid earlier this year?
You brought it to me, my attention.
What is going on here? You've said at the beginning of this you have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee. I'm asking a very simple question. Are you aware that Director Gabbard was present at the Fulton County raid earlier this year? Yes or no? Are you aware?
I was.
You won't answer that question either.
I just said I was made aware of it by you yesterday.
The first time you learned that Director Gabbard was present at that raid was in my office yesterday?
It was the first time that in my recollection, I've thought about it recently. Now, was I aware of it before?
What?
You brought it to my attention yesterday.
Okay.
I had not.
So you had not known.
I had not thought about it until you brought it to my attention yesterday.
Your answers lack credibility. Your testimony lacks credibility. You're being evasive and you're not being candid or forthright. And everybody across the country is going to watch this and know that. Are you aware that former Director Gruber testified that her presence at the raid was, quote, requested by the president?
I'm not aware of that until now.
Okay, you are now aware of that.
Yeah.
Are you aware that members of this committee are already probing Director Gruber's potential misconduct in this matter?
No, I'm not privy to your probe into.
Are you aware that?
And it went on and on and on. You see, Senator Ossoff knows he is in political peril, so he went after Jay Clayton time and again. But overall, the nominee to be the next Director of National Intelligence, he wasn't playing along. Here's more.
Who won the 2020 election?
I'm not going to do this with you.
This is a job interview. We've established that you have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee. Yes, you do have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee?
Yes.
Who won the 2020 election?
Like I said, I'm not going to get into that with you.
But you do have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee.
Is anything that I just said not honest or forthright?
Yes, you're not being honest or forthright. Who won the 2020 election?
I think I've answered the question. We can keep doing this.
Well, we're going to keep doing it because you're not being honest and forthright.
I'm not going to engage in the theater.
It's a simple question, Mr. Clayton.
And I've answered.
Who won the 2020 presidential election?
I've answered it.
Joe Biden was certified. I've answered the question. So the big speech tonight, 9 o'clock, we will have complete coverage on Real America's Voice, and I'll have a complete wrap-up for you tomorrow right here on Daybreak. John Solomon, who has been digging into this and is actually working for the administration for the last few weeks, says the facts on election interference are beyond reproach. And he says once people see what comes out tonight, people will understand. They'll get it. Here's a preview.
Enough to give me. I think when people say the facts, there's no amount of interpretation that the spin nicers can do. The facts are the facts. By the way, there's a large number of people who have worked on this. This is not 2 people or 1 person or 7 people. It's a group of trained intelligence experts who've gone through this. We're very careful. You'll see how careful we were. But they want us to focus on the fake. They want us to get into disputes with each other. I think we should focus on the truth, keep our eyes looking forward. When you look in the rearview mirror, you end up crashing your car sometimes. Just stay focused on the truth, what the future is. I think Americans will wake up next Friday and the Friday after that and the Friday after that being informed in ways that they weren't, and they can make their own minds up. I trust the American people to make up their minds regardless of what MSNBC or whatever they call themselves today does. They're smart. The American people are smart. They will absorb this and they'll make the right decision.
We'll find out if that's true. John Solomon's been on the trail of this story for a long time now. And now they're going to declassify, I'm told, millions of documents. If we learn that the Chinese were involved in interfering in our election, you'd have to ask yourself, how serious is that? Is it an act of war? I always contend that it is. Worse than the Cold War, potentially. Are the senators from Georgia legitimate? Or was Georgia so fraudulently approached that we should reconsider who's sitting in those seats? These are the questions we ask going into tonight's speech. I don't know the answers, but like I said, we'll have complete coverage on Real America's Voice and a complete wrap-up right here on Daybreak tomorrow. I'll be watching right along with you, so stay tuned. Did you know that most people don't get enough DHA? It's the key nutrient your brain relies on for memory and focus. DHA is necessary for healthy brain function, may help support heart health and metabolic health too. In fact, inadequate DHA levels in the brain have been linked to Alzheimer's disease. And the good news is this. Longevity contains 180 milligrams DHA and 250 milligrams of omega-3 oils per serving. Longevity is a complete nutritional support shake that gives you everything you need to age well, and it comes from the field, not from the laboratory. Read the ingredients. It's all real. I use it. We use it in my home and have for a long time now. Everybody loves it. The kid playing football, me, a little bit older, my wife working out, all of it. Go to longevityWellness.co and enter the promo code Gruber at checkout for a special discount. LongevityWellness.co and enter the promo code Gruber at checkout for that discount. And then send me an email about this or anything else. Like, what do you expect to hear tonight? SteveGruber.com. Send me your thoughts. I might share them right here on the program tomorrow morning. This is Daybreak. I'll be right back.
What if I told you could get a brand new metal roof and save 50% off the installation?
Our country is under attack.
The America we know is at risk of not being that way.
The radical left wants to destroy America.
We're not going to let that happen.
The younger generation needs you to stand up and lead.
It's an inside-out strategy.
This is more than an organization. This is a movement.
We're here to save the country.
AMAC is a family, over 2 million patriots strong.
I am an AMAC member, by the way.
AMAC gives you the training, resources, and tools to be a citizen soldier.
Each one of us can make a difference, and that's what AMAC shows every day.
Plus, real benefits like travel discounts, insurance, and Medicare guidance. We are stronger together.
Our rights don't come from government. Our rights come from God.
RAV family, let's stand with AMAC.
To extinguish all the evil that we see around us.
Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV and let's take our country back together.
Midday yesterday, we were all notified that Donald Trump had gone into the Situation Room. And there was a rumor for a moment that he might cancel his schedule for the day. He did not. He went to Pennsylvania, to the U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to talk about the next generation of American defense systems and so forth. But we do now know that he went into the Situation Room to discuss new strikes on strategic targets in Iran, and as well as strikes against Iranian targets in the Strait of Hormuz. Could Kharg Island be in the crosshairs? I think it's a good possibility. Kharg Island is a 8-square-mile piece of real estate in the middle of the Strait of Hormuz. It is Iran's chief point of exporting oil. It is critical to their infrastructure. The question is, and I continue to ask this, how do we close this deal out without boots on the ground? The American public, very opposed to boots on the ground in this war, or pretty much any other war at this point. Putting boots on the ground would be a game changer for the midterm elections, which currently are still relatively close. The Democrats have an advantage, but not a big advantage. According to polling and all the work that I do, there's an advantage, but not a big advantage. So what happens next? That's the question. Trump met with Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, along with John Ratcliffe, Dan Kane, Steve Witkoff, and others. They're still trying to find a path towards peace in Iran. But every time they make a deal, they renege. Every time they make a deal, they renege. Look, one thing we're sure about, for 47 years, the Iranians have lied, stalled, dragged their feet, made deals, and then broken them. So why would this be any different? Well, they are being pummeled right now. And next week, we're told those attacks will escalate dramatically. That's what the president said. We might hear more about that tonight during the primetime speech as well. We look forward to seeing what is said. Again, email me at stevegruber.com if you want to weigh in on these topics or anything else. I read every single email, everyone, and respond to as many as I can. It's a lot, but it's my dedication to you for being here. I'll take a break and be right back.
It's me, Ricky. You grew up with me. I am using Fatty 15 to get me to feel and look the...
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because they have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
This is Rashad from Boston, Massachusetts, and I love Real America's Voice. It is the best place for real news and content. Much love.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
There has been a change in America over the last few years, that is for sure, especially when it comes to American attitudes toward Israel. The Democrat Party certainly, and the Democratic Socialists, openly targeting Israel. And some Democratic lawmakers are targeting Jewish charities supporting Israeli communities. The anger toward Israel has been advanced to a point of probably no return. It's even been suggested by many in the media and elsewhere on social media that Donald Trump somehow is beholden to Bibi Netanyahu and Israel. But I find that awfully hard to believe. In fact, I don't think Donald Trump answers to anybody except Donald Trump. Do we have the guest?
We've got him on hold now, Steve.
All right, we've got Eugene Kontorovic, a senior legal fellow at Advancing American Freedom. Eugene, thank you for being here.
Hi.
Good to have you here. So let's talk about this. Yeah, glad to have you here. Let's talk about this. What has been the change in the attitude of America, especially Democrats and especially the Democratic Socialists, toward Israel, and now Democratic lawmakers targeting Jewish charities supporting Israeli communities? Why are we here?
We're here because the Democratic Party has been hijacked by their communist
extremists. The communists have always hated Israel. Israel was the front line in the war against Soviet communism and Soviet totalitarianism. Israel was the front line in the Middle East and a major American ally. So communists have always hated Israel. That's why America has always been allies with Israel. But now the problem is the communists have taken over the Democratic Party. And a lot of them, they also hate America. They see America as a settler colonial war mongering country to boycott America. But that would be awkward because they live here, right? It would be uncomfortable. They want to be in Congress. How are they going to boycott America? So instead, Israel becomes the scapegoat, the little American that they can burn at the stake as a proxy for America itself, which is what they really hate.
It's a sad day in America, and I'm going to actually share something with President Kennedy here a little bit later in the program, but it's the Red-Green Alliance. Islam is married communists. Exactly. They have gotten together, and here's the thing that is bizarre to me. At the end of this marriage, there'll be an ugly divorce. These are not allies, these two sides, but they're together because they hate America and they hate Israel. That's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. By the way, that's actually how the Iranian mullahs came to power. The revolution against the Shah in 1979 was a Marxist, Islamist revolution. They would, take care of the other when it was over. In the end, the Islamists ate the Marxists for dinner, and that's, of course, going to happen here.
So how can they not read the warning signs? I mean, are people in the Democratic Socialists of America and elsewhere so blunted to the facts that they're just going to ignore this? What you just said is exactly right. At one point, one side will eat the other. And I'm guessing it's the communists and the DSA that will not survive that political war and whatever else it turns out to be. How can they not see and read history?
I think when they see history, they see, communism has been unsuccessful everywhere it has been tried. And, in a sense, they have really no other play left than to make this alliance with radical Islam, because socialism, communism is played out. Nobody's that interested in it. And, they have this main point of commonality, namely their hatred for America and the West. And I think they'd rather see America torn down, and they care less already about what's going to be built after.
Yeah, they don't care. They believe America is the evil thing. Last question. Is it too late to save this country from this rise of communism, this Red-Green Alliance? Is it too late, or can we still blunt this thing?
It's absolutely not too late. America is an amazingly free, successful country full of patriotic people who really love the country. And, it's not a coincidence that this stuff is really largely confined to, the New York and California areas. It's important to keep it confined there. But I think it's also important to be wary of even people on the right who might want to ride the tiger of this anti-Semitic sentiment. And we see, like Thomas Massey, put up a bill in Congress. The only people who voted for it were Democrats. So when you see Republicans putting forward proposals, the biggest audience for whom is anti-American audiences of a socialist or Islamist nature, you have to know that's not a good direction for the conservative movement or the Republican Party.
Eugene, greatly appreciate you being here. We'll keep an eye on this Red-Green Alliance and see how it advances, sir. Thank you for stopping in.
Thank you. Take care. Great to be here.
Now, I want to share with you President Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, on communism. What he said in the early 1960s, shortly after taking office. Listen to this.
Communism is so often described as an ideology or a belief that exists somewhere other than in the United States. Let me ask you, sir, just how serious a threat to our national security are these communist subversive activities in the United States today?
Well, I think they're serious. I think it's a matter that we should continue to give great care and attention to. We should support the laws which the United States has passed in order to protect us from those who would destroy us from within. We should sustain the Department of Justice in its efforts and the FBI, and we should be continually alert. I think if the United States is maintaining a strong society here in the United States, I think that we can meet any internal threat. The major threat is external and will continue.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War, in short, with a wartime discipline no democracy would ever hope or wish to match. Nevertheless, every democracy recognizes the necessary restraints of national security. And the question remains whether those restraints need to be more strictly observed if we are to oppose this kind of attack as well as outright invasion.
Warning about communism and the attacks from within. Compare and contrast President John F. Kennedy and the Democrats of the past to what you see today, and really there is no comparison. That's why I shared that with you. You need to understand this is a serious threat. The rise of socialists who want to give free stuff to everybody. Free stuff to everybody always ends the same way, in misery and death. We'll take a break and be back on Daybreak.
This is Fubo. It's your way to watch ESPN and other top sports networks.
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because they have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
This is Rashad from Boston, Massachusetts, and I love Real America's Voice. It is the best place for real news and content. Much love.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
let's check in on the economy now with No Lazy Money and Nick Hopwood, certified financial planner, founder at Peak Wealth Management. Nick, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing well. You were the one who notified me here a couple of days ago that inflation had come in significantly lower than predicted. In fact, 63 so-called experts all got it wrong. How does 63 out of 63 get it wrong? It's 3.5%. I mean, it's not great, but it's not terrible either, is it?
Well, it's just the way it is when it comes to predicting economics. But the inflation rate came in at 3.5%, which is better than expected, as you mentioned, and down from over 4% from the prior month. But it is still a long way from our target of 2%, so it puts pressure on the Fed to keep rates higher. In fact, the markets are predicting that we'll have a rate hike between now and the end of the year.
So a rate hike is still in the offering then. That seems, well, disappointing to me because there was a point in time not that long ago they thought there'd be a couple of rate cuts this year, correct?
That's exactly right. And so it is hard to wrap your brain around the fact that we go from expectation of 2 more cuts to 1 rate hike. But look, it provides an opportunity right now for you. If you have a car loan that's at a high rate, there's a credit union in my area that's offering 4.6%. Get it while it's there. Another credit union in the area offering home equity lines at 4.75%. We haven't seen rates this low when it comes to a home equity line in years.
So get the money while you can. All right, so here's something that keeps popping up on my radar. People living with their parents longer than they used to. You know what? This doesn't bother me. I have a child in college living in my house, and I think it's perfectly fine. But it's not considered smart money to hang out with mom and dad, which I guess is different from where we've been over the last few years. Tell me about this.
Yeah, Steve, remember the movie Failure to Launch with Matthew McConaughey? He was in his 30s, and he was just kind of living off of mom and dad. Well, it's different now. 49% of people under age 30 are living with a parent right now, according to the Wall Street Journal. It's no longer a sign of being a loser, so to speak. It's a sign of smart money. And the reason is because of student loans, these nagging student loans that we are trying to get out from under, as well as the price of housing and mortgage rates. So the price of housing is more expensive, the student loans are lingering, people are staying at home and saving money.
Student loans, like I say, these universities and colleges should be co-signers on the loan. If they give you a piece of paper that isn't worth anything 5 or 10 years down the line, they should pick up the bill. That would change their attitudes. All right, here's something about making some money, and I don't understand how anybody, regardless of your political persuasion, could not take advantage of these Trump accounts. You say a baby could have $7.5 million in a Roth if you max this thing out. Tell me, these Trump accounts, I think, are wonderful. Your thoughts?
I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. So ultimately, it's a non-deductible IRA. And you think, well, what's so special about that? Well, the thing that's special is that you can start at birth. So $5,000 per year for 18 years is $90,000 in deposits. If that $90,000 is growing at 8% at age 18, it would be worth $202,000. Now, in your between 18 and 25, if you're not if your parents are not claiming you as a dependent, you can convert that money to Roth at an ultra low income tax rate. Get the money into Roth, Steve, with no further contributions, just that first $90,000. At age 65, growing at 8%, it would be worth $7.5 million. Now, of course, past performance is no guarantee of future results. But look, the market has averaged larger than 8% over our lifetime. So the sky is the limit here.
So $7.5 million, even adjusted for inflation, that's a big deal. That is a big deal.
Yeah, adjusted for inflation would be about $2.3 million in today's dollars as a present value. But look, most people who are retiring today don't have $2.3 million. So it's a really incredible opportunity.
Okay, there you have that. What about retirement confidence, though? Excuse me. A survey says it's the lowest level in 10 years. Why?
Yeah, despite a bull market over the last 15 years of fantastic market performance, 61% of workers are not confident that they can retire with confidence, with comfort. And there's two main reasons. Number one is healthcare expenses. Obviously, we all know what's happened with our double-digit healthcare inflation. But number two is that they build a plan where they think they can work till age 65, but ultimately, because of health or because of getting downsized, they ultimately have to leave the workforce at 62. And those 3 years, it's 3 years where you have to take withdrawals from the portfolio, so the portfolio can't grow. 3 years where you're not making deposits to the portfolio. 3 years where maybe you're taking Social Security earlier and it's not continuing to roll up. And so this is definitely on the minds of workers today. And ironically, right, with a great market and a great labor unemployment rate, we're lacking confidence.
Lacking confidence. I also saw a deal in the Wall Street Journal. People can't retire because of student loans. I keep going back to these student loans. We need to fix this problem. I don't know what the answer is, Nick, but we do need to fix the problem because people are saddled with debt with a diploma that doesn't get them anywhere, and that's a real problem. 20 seconds on that.
Yeah, the Wall Street Journal profiled a couple that has $114,000 in student loans at age 65, so they're unable to retire. Yeah, so it's like you keep refinancing your mortgage, and you retire with a brand new 30-year mortgage. Same concept if you continue to refinance that student debt. So you have to have a plan to pay it off.
You got to have a plan to avoid it in the first place. I think college, like my friend Charlie Kirk said, is a scam for a lot of people. It doesn't get them anywhere except debt. PeakWM.com/Gruber to get a free Social Security analysis. PeakWM.com/Gruber. The QR code is right there on your screen. You can talk to Nick personally, and you'll be glad you did. Nick, thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Student loans. What a scam. I'll be back.
Hey, I'm Dr. Drupinski. I've been looking at the aging process for a long time. Fatty 15 actually...
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because we have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
This is Rashad from Boston, Massachusetts, and I love Real America's Voice. It is the best place for real news and content. Much love.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
I'm going to want your feedback on this one, all right? And the reason being is, to me, it's just kind of weird, all right? But the Mint has announced that there will be new $1 coins coming out to mark 250 years. That part's not weird. But it'll have President Trump's face on the coin. My understanding was that the United States currency only had presidents who had passed on currency. The $1 coin will commemorate 250 years, and Scott Bessent says that it's going to have President Trump's picture on it. From Just the News, we have this: set to produce a $1 coin featuring the face of President Donald Trump, right? As America commemorates, here's what Bessent said. As America commemorates 250 years of independence, the U.S. Mint will begin striking a new $1 gold coin in honor of the enduring legacy of liberty and lasting symbol of patriotism. Now, when he says gold coin, I don't know if he means gold as in gold. I wouldn't think so. It'd be tiny, or golden color, which is what I would assume. What do you think about the president having his face on a coin? I mean, it'll drive some people wild. I know that'll be kind of fun. That part won't be bad. That part will be entertaining to me. But in all honesty, late presidents, late leaders, posthumously put on currency. To me, it's kind of weird, but I'll take your emails at stevegruber.com. By the way, the penny ended under Donald Trump after he took office for the second term. The coin of the image of Trump and God Be Trust on the backside features the U.S. emblazoned with the number 250. Those parts I like. Just seems kind of odd to me to have President Trump on new coinage. But what are your thoughts? Go to stevegruber.com. stevegruber.com, and let me know what you think about that. This part of the program brought to you by PureClean's Veterans Initiative, PureVet. Because life after service deserves opportunity, ownership, and purpose. 855-PureVet to find out more, or PureVet.com if you're a veteran and you want to be in charge of your own company and your own destiny. Check this out. You'll go to the front of the line, 855-PureVet, and PureVet.com. Another hour of Daybreak straight ahead.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against.
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because you have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
This is Rashad from Boston, Massachusetts, and I love Real America's Voice. It is the best place for real news and content. Much love.
Welcome back to this Real America's Voice news break. I'm Terrence Bates. We appreciate you being here with us. Flags are flying at half-staff at both the White House and the U.S. Capitol this afternoon following the death of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. While D.C. mourns his death, life does go on. In about half an hour or so, President Trump set to participate in a Formula One event in advance of the Freedom 250 Grand Prix, which will take place and take over the streets of the nation's capital next month. Steve Gruber, host of America's Voice Live, will be hosting the show from the White House and D.C. this week. He joins me live now with the very latest. Steve, good afternoon. It is good to see you. Obviously, I would think all the talk there in D.C. right now is Lindsey Graham and his unexpected passing.
It is, Terrence. What happens next? Obviously, Lindsey Graham, a great champion of the president, once an adversary on the political trail, became pretty good friends with the president, didn't agree on everything, but was there for the president on important issues like the Save America Act. And, of course, the South Carolina Governor McMaster moving quickly. We now know that he's going to appoint a successor, interim successor, to fill that seat at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's very important because there are great legislative battles going on right now. Lindsey Graham was right on the front line of that Save America Act battle. He also had just returned from Ukraine, where he indicated he had made a breakthrough and maybe found a way to end the war between Russia and Ukraine. So it's a big loss for the president personally. It's a big hit politically as well, because Lindsey Graham had been there for more than 20 years, an important senator and somebody we all knew.
You talked about Henry McMaster, the governor there of South Carolina, expected to appoint someone to fill out the rest of Lindsey Graham's seat as soon as this afternoon. President Trump already chiming in, saying that he'd like to see McMaster appoint Lindsey Graham's sister. What's being made of that there at the White House?
Well, it's Donald Trump saying it would be a great respect for Lindsey Graham to appoint his sister, because Lindsey Graham adored his sister. And the point was made that it would only be an interim appointment, that if his sister is appointed, she will not run for re-election. There will be a primary here in the next few weeks to find out who's going to be the candidate for the Republicans to fill that seat held by Lindsey Graham, like I said, for more than 20 years. It's an interim position, but I would expect that it's a solid position for the Republicans, and I don't believe that South Carolina is in any doubt, regardless of who the nominee turns out to be, coming out of a primary. Look, South Carolina's deep red. Tim Scott, now the senior senator from that state, and these are important votes in a tight Senate and a very tight midterm election race as well.
Yeah, let's move forward a little bit. I know it's a hot day there. You're going to be outside for quite some time. It's my understanding the president is set to hold a viewing of Grand Prix Formula One cars here shortly. Tell me about what's going on there.
Well, I can tell you this, Terrence. They've been lighting them up right behind us here between the White House and the Eisenhower Executive Office building right behind us. They have one Freedom 250 car out here. They're loud, Terrence. They make a lot of noise. They make a statement. They've been running one up and down through this driveway behind me here. Very exciting. Got some video. Send it in. You'll be able to see that a little bit later on America's Voice Live and, of course, on Real America's Voice. But, it's exciting. It's an event like this city has never seen, much like the UFC fight here that was held at the White House. Doing things differently, celebrating America, putting America first. And it's a big part of the party, I guess. And I think the president is as excited about this as anything else that he's done, whether it's the UFC fight, bringing FIFA here for the Soccer World Cup, and now the Freedom 250 race in the streets of Washington.
It's a summer of sports in the nation's capital. Have you already seen preparations for this big Grand Prix event? It's my understanding that they're going to literally close some of the roads, some of the streets there in D.C., and the racing will happen in the streets of the nation's capital, which I think is cool.
That's exactly right. It is cool. My Uber driver this morning said they're getting ready for that, for street closures and delays. Look, Washington is always full of street closures and delays by the very nature of this city, with the president in his motorcade moving from time to time, obviously to Air Force One or Marine One. So more delayed travel in the nation's capital, where it's going to be 100 degrees come Wednesday. So it's hot as they get ready here, but you can smell oil and gasoline here. It's like we're on Gasoline Alley here. It's pretty cool, Terrence. I'm not going to kid you. It's an exciting event and something, like I said, that this nation's capital has never seen before.
Absolutely. Steve, I'll let you go and get a little cool so you can get to your event. Steve Gruber reporting for us this afternoon at the White House. Always good to see you. That's a quick check of your headlines.
Home inspectors, contractors, roofers, all kinds of pros recommend Leaf
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because they have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
This is Rashad from Boston, Massachusetts, and I love Real America's Voice. It is the best place for real news and content. Much love.
Good morning.
Good morning, Steve. How are things going in D.C.?
Boy, was it hot yesterday. 101 degrees. It's supposed to be 100 again today. The humidity, you know, it's D.C. in the summer. The politics are hot. The weather might be hotter. I mean, it's pretty remarkable how hot it is. You walk out this morning, you walk outside, bam.
Yeah, just hit you right in the face.
Yeah, 5 in the morning, and it's like, wow, it's already smoking hot. Anyhow, out there too. And I understand there's a lot of smoke where you are.
Yeah, the Canadian fires are causing some issues here in Michigan, especially northern Michigan. But yesterday I was driving home from the grocery store, and I'm like looking around going, man, it's awfully smoky. You know, just unusual here for where we are. But we love to head out west generally once a year, and that's not an uncommon place. So we're used to that, but I find it interesting. Although I'm really glad that, Steve, that you're not in New York, because some New Yorkers are taking a different approach to staying cool this summer. They're ditching traditional deodorants, according to New York Post. Some residents say they're no longer using deodorants or antiperspirants because of concerns about chemicals, environmental impacts.
Wow.
So they have switched to botanical sprays, and they are just going all natural, Steve. What do you think about that?
I guess the scent bouquet on the subway is quite something, then, isn't it? You're packed in there, and the guy next to you hasn't used deodorant in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Great.
And like,
another reason to avoid.
Maybe not the best plan. But I do find this story concerning Democratic Governor Andy Beshear. There are still some local traffic stops there in Kentucky, and causing some issues because there are illegals that aren't able to drive and can barely speak English. I want you to hear this soundbite for about a minute, and then I want your reaction. Go ahead, Anthony.
Are you the registered owner of the vehicle?
Yeah.
You have a driver's license with you? You got the vehicle in park, right? Alright. You realize the speed limit through here is only 55, right?
55?
55.
And here is 50 or 55? How much is here?
55.
55. And I'm coming?
You're doing 64.
64.
You also have your high beams on. You're not supposed to have your high beams on when you got traffic around you. Any reason why you're driving down the road with high beams on with traffic around you?
I'm not sure. What do you say?
Your high beams.
High beam. What is a high beam?
What do you mean, what is a high beam?
All right, Steve.
I don't understand.
Bright light.
Oh, that's like a 2-minute bite, but
wow.
I just want your take on that, because I think that in this country, if you're driving a multi-ton truck and you're holding a CDL license, you should be able to know the laws, and you should be able to know what high beams certainly are, and you should be able to speak, good English at least.
English? Yeah. Read the road signs, understand what high beams mean.
Absolutely.
This is why Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, is taking this head on, no pun intended. The fact of the matter is these people should not be on our roads. They're driving 80,000-pound missiles down our interstates. Some of these guys, as we've seen the tragic results, pulling U-turns on the highway with 18-wheelers, people getting killed. I saw a video yesterday of an 18-wheeler plowing into a bunch of stopped vehicles on the interstate, just not paying attention, just drove, several people killed. Last week, there was a 6-year-old girl, a college student, and a police officer all killed by people like you just described, driving with CDLs, commercial driver's licenses, that are not qualified to be there. Now, one of the problems, Ivy, is that they were self-certifying. These schools would pop up, and they would self-certify.
Clearly, there could be no issue with that.
Yeah, obviously. Oh, yeah, our students are good. Here, pay me.
I went to medical school. I went to law school. I'm good. I self-certified.
Oh, good Lord. That is so frightening to see. To see that. I'm glad you played that, because that is so frightening and so eye-opening. Yeah. This is what the Democrats wanted, with open borders, with people in the country that are not qualified to be here. Now, yesterday, President Trump addressed this during his stop in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. He said, we're going to not allow this to happen, but if you are in the United States military and you're qualified to drive big equipment for the military, you will automatically be qualified for a CDL. So he's going to give veterans a chance to get these jobs, many of which pay more than $100,000. What do you think of that idea?
I love that idea. I think that is great. Giving people who have served our country, something back is always a wonderful thing. Actually, it reminds me of Puro Vet, which is one of our clients, Puro Clean, which is a restoration company, but what they do is they give back to veterans who want to start their own business, and they waive a bunch of fees and things like that. So if you're ever interested in opening a company, and you're a veteran, look up purovet.com.
That's right.
Really great company. But I think that's a brilliant idea. Absolutely. We need to take care of the people in this country, and that's a really great way to do it.
I thought it was he was at the U.S. War College there, in U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, and he said, look, let's give the veterans who know how to drive big trucks a chance to drive big trucks in America. You know what they do know? The English language. You know what they do know? They know what a high beam is. Right?
Right, exactly. So one more thing, Steve. The U.S. House is expected to vote on the Sunshine Protection Act to make daylight savings time permanent. Do you think this is actually
dividing people?
It's dividing people?
It's actually dividing people. Yeah, I've got a bunch of people in the inbox who say, no, we don't want daylight savings time permanent. We want Eastern Standard Time. We want Standard Time permanent. And so there's a divide on this. But what people do agree on, stop moving the clocks back and forth. Yeah. They agree on that.
Well, certainly, I think, some people complain, well, you'll have to take the kids, the kids are going to wait at the bus and it's going to be dark. But either way, at some point in time, it's dark. It's just silly.
That's right.
I don't know. I think it is best to just keep it all on one. Whatever you decide the time is going to be, let's keep it that way.
So, I agree with that, and I think most people do. Real quickly here,
a
couple of things. People weighing in on the $1 Trump coin, a whole bunch of them. Let's see. Audie writes, I've always been a staunch supporter of Donald Trump. At the same time, I've always been uncomfortable with his desire to have his name and image on things. Just my 2 cents, pun intended. Let's see. Let me grab another one here.
That's marketing, buddy. Yeah,
I missed it here. He's going to buy all of his Starbucks with the Trump coin, he says, going forward.
Nice.
Just to drive the people at Starbucks nuts. Anyhow, we'll weigh on that. We'll always take your emails here. Audie, thank you for yours. SteveGruber.com, the place to do that. Ivy, I'll see you back here in a little bit. Love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
We'll take a break and be right back on Daybreak.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title.
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
Hi, my name is Tracy L. from Arizona. I don't stink around in the kitchen when it comes to the news. I watch Real America's Voice, which always serves accurate and reliable updates that are on point with their amazing hosts. So don't find yourself in a pickle by tuning into the fake news. Stick with Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because they have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
This is Rashad from Boston, Massachusetts, and I love Real America's Voice. It is the best place for real news and content. Much love.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
Let's dive into data centers again. These data centers are, man, they're top of conversation all over. I got some friends that have one proposed near their house. They hate the idea. A lot of communities pushing back hard. Data centers being built, others being canceled. But could they be helpful to some places? Brandon Arnold is the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union joining me now. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning.
You believe that data centers can be a win for taxpayers and communities some places. But my question is this: why do we build them out in farm fields? Why can't we use places where maybe a factory is closed, you've already got a place that is developed? Why can't we build data centers in cities that need the help? Why do they want to turn these places like farm fields into data centers? That's my question. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the kind of common sense approach that we should take to data centers. We shouldn't just build them in wherever necessarily the developers want. We should have local communities express where they want them built. They should work with the developers in order to locate them in places that aren't disruptive to the flow of life. Don't want them built next to a school necessarily, but finding the appropriate place in an industrial park or what have you where they can be built. That's a common sense solution, far superior to what we're seeing from some folks on the left, like the governor of New York, that's simply implementing a statewide ban for 1 year. I don't think that is a common sense solution. That's a knee-jerk ideological approach to data centers instead of a common sense, rational approach that you just put forward.
Yeah, let's use the idea of opportunity zones, right? Those are a popular thing with this administration and with many states as well. Rejuvenate communities that have fallen on hard times or don't have the tax base they need. The problem oftentimes, however, Brandon, is that too many politicians are too willing to give away taxpayer dollars to attract something like a data center or 100 other things that they claim are going to be great, and then they turn out to be kind of a bust for everybody. But maybe an opportunity zone for data centers in some of these communities. Another idea that I have. Your thoughts?
No, I think that's smart. Again, common sense approach here. I don't agree with subsidies. I don't think we should be luring certain any kind of business to your community by giving them handouts, taxpayer handouts. But at the same time, I think folks should be welcoming, local officials should be welcoming to new technologies. They shouldn't have a knee-jerk approach to them. So yeah, opportunity zones, that was something that was fleshed out quite considerably in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, expanded in the One Big Beautiful Bill. That's the kind of smart thinking, I think, that brings the jobs, the tax revenue, all the benefits you get from growing and embracing technology, whether that's an automobile factory or a data center, to your community. You know, businesses need to grow and people need to work. We need to have real world solutions to attract jobs and create more tax revenue that these local governments rely upon.
Yeah, I feel the same way, by the way, about the solar fields. They call them farms. It's not a farm because once you put it in a cornfield or a bean field, it's no longer a farm. But again, go into industrial areas. I mean, I live in Michigan. I can drive around Michigan and find, 100 different places that have had a factory that is no longer there. Maybe it's just a parking lot. It's already got concrete. Why can't we put the solar fields there in the places that would be beneficial and not turn farm fields and forests into these god-awful eyesores I see from the interstate?
Yeah, it's almost ironic that in the name of these green goals that so many of these politicians have, that we're actually making our areas uglier and building out infrastructure that most people don't want. It's an eyesore. So yeah, we need to be mindful of the aesthetic of our communities. We need to be mindful of environmental impacts. We need to be mindful of tax impacts. We don't want to build facilities in the backyards of residents. We don't want to build them next to schools or hospitals necessarily. We need to be smart about these things. What frustrates me is that so many politicians are just approaching this from an ideological perspective, and you see so-called progressives that are just outright opposed to progress. Bernie Sanders, Kathy Hochul in New York, so many of these politicians are just anti-progress. They're anti-change because they're scared this data center build-out is attached to AI. It's not really just about AI. It's about cloud computing. It's about quantum technologies and so forth. It's certainly about competition with China. But they're so anti-progress that it's just almost ironic how much they hate the growth and future prosperity of this country.
I want to go back to what you said, though, because I think most people, at least I agree, that we need to limit these subsidies. We've got to stop padding the wallet of these developers or these companies and giving them, tax abatements and handouts at my expense and yours. And one has to wonder, Brandon, are they really beholden to an ideology or to lobbyists on any side of the argument? I mean, let's be honest.
Be a little bit better off for it.
And maybe cut property tax, too, like they did in Florida. Smart move, by the way. Brandon Arnold, Executive Vice President, National Taxpayers Union. Greatly appreciate you being here. Let's see if we can make AI work smart, not just plowing fields under. Thank you for being here.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Appreciate it.
I mean, how many places around this country, my friends, could you go in and put in a solar field or a data center that wouldn't disrupt a small community, that wouldn't run over the wishes of the people that live in that community? Places that are already set up as industrial parks, as Brandon said. Those would be smart moves. Opportunity zones for AI centers and solar fields. All right, how about that? Again, you guys are lighting up the emails this morning. I'm trying to read them as fast as I can. Thank you for that. SteveGruber.com. Keep the thoughts coming. I'll be back on Daybreak.
The system is outdated and archaic and vulnerable to title fraud.
Tired of the radical left destroying our country? Looking for a real conservative alternative to the woke AARP? Meet AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. Over 2 million strong, AMAC is fighting for faith, family, freedom, and our sacred Constitution. As a member, you get powerful everyday benefits. Huge discounts on travel, hotels, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. Plus major savings on vision, dental, auto, home, and life insurance. We'll help you navigate Medicare and Social Security with honest America First guidance. Plus, you'll receive AMAC Magazine, uncensored news, legislative alerts, and real grassroots tools to make your voice heard and take our country back. Patriots, this is your moment. If you love America and want to defend it for the next generation, join the fight. Scan the QR code right now or go to amac.com/RAV. Fight back. Let's make America great again.
Well, when Zohran Mamdani ran for mayor of New York City, he said he was going to get rents under control. So he is freezing rent in, 1 million units around the Big Apple? But here's the headline that the mayor didn't want to see. Rent in New York City has hit an all-time high in just the first few months of his administration. It's over $5,000 a month for a one-bedroom in Manhattan. A studio apartment, $4,000 a month in New York City right now. And you cannot tell me that a massive influx of people during the Biden administration that came here illegally didn't drive the price of housing and rent through the roof. Of course it did. Math is math. If you suddenly got millions of people in the country that need a place to live, well, that's going to create a lot of demand, isn't it? We need bold action. This is a crisis, said New York City Comptroller Mark Levine on X. The dismal June stats reveal, like I said, the average one-bedroom, $5,400. A studio, $4,000. In Brooklyn, the average one-bedroom is $4,297 a month. In Brooklyn. It's unimaginable. The median rent, the midpoint for rent in Manhattan, $5,300. $4,300 in Brooklyn. An 8% increase just this year. An 8% increase in rent just this year. Unbelievable. Well, that's socialism for you. It's working out great, isn't it? Man, I miss my ghost bed. Speaking of having a place to sleep, whether it's a one-bedroom in Manhattan or my house at home, the ghost bed is my favorite piece of furniture. And when I'm on the road like I am this week, I miss it. The American-made ghost bed is the best bed I've ever had, period. We've had it for 4 or 5 months now. I sleep great. My ring keeps track of my sleep. You can like it, too, and you can try it for 101 nights with no risk. If you honestly don't like it, you can call them, and they will come to your house and pick it up. No questions asked. It's unbelievable. Ghostbed.com/Gruber. The promo code's Gruber. You'll save 10% off the best price of the year right now. If you're looking for a new bed, buy the American-made Ghost Bed. You'll be glad you did. And you can send me an email like you guys are doing this morning. Keep it up at SteveGruber.com. SteveGruber.com. Any topic. The Trump coin, 18-wheelers, who should drive them, the military, retirees, maybe. Anything you want to talk about, SteveGruber.com. Send me an email. I read them all. I'll be right back.
Leaf filter gutter protection helps prevent costly damage to your home, like rotting.
The
world is full of fables, from Big Pharma's lies to gender confusion, atheism, and the fake news media. Enough is enough. From Real America's Music comes the powerful new single, Fables, by DVS 7.0 and Brett Rayo. This bold anthem exposes the lies of the enemy while pointing people to the life-changing truth of Jesus Christ. Pre-save Fables right now by scanning the QR code on your screen or search Fables on iTunes. Let's make this song number one. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because we have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you. Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because we have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
As you know, I was in the hearing for Todd Blanche yesterday, his confirmation hearing to become the next Attorney General of the United States. I don't think that he's going to make it. That's my read from Senator John Cornyn and others. And I ran into my next guest while I was in the gallery there, Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. We call him Zoe, Pastor Zoe, 180 Church in Detroit. Pastor, nice to have you on this morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I wanted to have you here. First of all, I don't think that Todd Blanche is going to make it here. I don't know what your feelings are, but go ahead and share. You called it all performative yesterday, and I think you're not too far off the truth. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, Todd Blanche is the Democrat number one. Cornyn is too. They both hate. I only hope Todd Blanche has his love for the president and the fact that the elections are cheated. And I can help him. That's why I'm here in Washington. I have the affidavits. I have the proof. I have the people. I don't have ballots or machines. They can't testify. Steve, that's the problem. Todd needs to really show he loves the president because I'm the only one that has the proof they're voting for poor black people without their knowledge. It's just that simple. And Warren hates the president. That's why he made that comment. He's horrible.
You made the point that people in your church, you called them poor black people to me yesterday. Their votes are being cast even though they're not the ones casting them. In fact, you're at the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals.
And they're registering them.
Tell the folks what is happening.
Yeah, so I'm about to go through security here, but I'm going to tell you quickly. What happened is we sued our Secretary of State, and she said that our people were registered through a driver's license transaction. Well, they weren't there. And people who physically went into the ballots they switched their vote. We pulled our voter history. It's just that simple. That's fraud. According to Michigan Code, according to U.S. Code 18137, that's fraud. That's conspiracy. So see, I'm going through security. I might lose you going through security, but I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Thank you.
All right, let me hold him. Just to get through security there, Pastor.
Yeah, you got me.
And let's get through this because this is really, I've got you. This is really important.
Yeah,
people in your church are being defrauded of their legal votes.
Let me say this because this is important. All these Republicans that are saying it's ballots and it's machines, ballot can't testify. Machine can't testify. I have 4 black people that are being voted for without their knowledge. Period. Amen. It's that simple. And they're being registered. And their votes are being switched, sir. That's the truth of the matter. We have 7 court cases right now. And you know what these judges are doing? They're defaulting on the cases. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a judge not responding? like just defaulting. If you Google that, if any of your listeners Google that, it is impossible for a municipality to say they are not going to respond to a deadline. That's not a discretion of a judge. That's what's happening. We're in the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals right now. Listen to this. You can't make it up. Melissa Love, she was voted for 7 times without her knowledge. That's fraud. And think about this. She's voting for people that are destroying her and mismanaging her resources, misappropriating her funds because they misrepresent her because they were never voted in by her and can't be fired by her. Can you imagine that? People like Alyssa Slotkin, people like Gary Peters, people like Joe Biden.
It's unbelievable to me, Pastor, that this is allowed to continue. And here's what I want to say. Democrats used to say, well, there is no voter fraud. It's something the Republicans have made up. And then they said there's not widespread voter fraud. But this is just in one small area of Detroit. What do you believe the truth is about fraud in your state of Michigan when it comes to voting?
See, that's like when a Democrat says that, that's like me telling you there's only a serial killer in one city. How can you say if voter fraud is just in one place? It's just like saying there's a murderer in one place. Nobody would respond that way. Can you imagine law-abiding citizens acting like fraud is just so laissez-faire? Can you imagine? That's like me taking your credit card, buying a house, buying a car. You're homeless, and you just acting like, no, that's fine. He just stole my credit card. He just mismanaged my resources. I'm homeless, and it's fine. This is the reason why black people are in poverty. The reason why they're in poverty because Democrats are voting for them without their knowledge and mismanaging their resources. That's what's happening. That's the truth of the matter. Now, anybody come to Detroit and tell me different. 180 Church, come to 180 Church and show me different. You can't. I'm not an ambulance chaser. I didn't know the elections could be stolen. When President Trump came to my church, that's when people came to me and said I was voted for illegally without my knowledge. I moved outside of Michigan, and when I moved outside, they re-registered me without my knowledge. That's fraud. You cannot commit conspiracy. It's U.S. Code 18137. It's criminal, and that's why Todd Blanche.
Let me ask you this,
because they should have.
Let me ask you this: the president is going to give a primetime speech tonight at 9:00. I know you know that. You're here in Washington with me.
That's why Jesus has me here.
He's going to talk about
Jesus has me here.
He's going to talk about voter fraud. What do you want the president to say tonight? What do you think we might see? What are you hearing from your sources inside of D.C.?
So I'm hearing a lot of different things. Some people are saying he's going to talk about foreign agents being involved. See, the president sits in a different seat than I do, even though he told me he wanted me to be his pastor when he came to my church. What I realize, whatever he say, it sheds light on what we know and the proof we have. So it doesn't matter what he says, really. Some people are saying foreign entities. We know that comes from Peter Tipton. But, Steve, at the end of the day, you still got to line up with the clerk. You still have to get with the Secretary of State, even if China, Russia, Venezuela, even if Vietnamese, the Chinese, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you still got to get to a Secretary of State. You still got to deal with the clerk because they're the ones who cast the They're the ones who count the votes. They're the ones that are ahead of the elections. And they are the ones, Steve, that are making kings. You saw yesterday. Look at all those little children that got to sit in seats that we didn't get to sit in, but we're paying taxes. I pay more in taxes than they make in salary, and I can't even sit and talk to Ty. That's unbelievable, man. I mean, that's corruption. It's a deep state. We're dealing with the deep state. We're dealing with the corrupt, totalitarian, Islamic, jihadist states of America. That's what we're dealing with right now. That's the truth. And the only one that wants to save us is President Trump, nobody else. I don't even trust one person except for Mike Johnson. That's it. There's
How
nobody else I
frightening is
trust
it
in
to
this government.
you that Abdul El Sayed is the leading candidate to be the next senator from Michigan?
You literally just brought up my point. Now, how is it? Now, think about this. Think about this for a second. How is it that an Islamic jihadist who literally is best friends with the demonic Charlie Kirk, Hassan Thicker, how is it that he becomes the leading candidate? Do you know why? The children of darkness are wiser than the children of light. Muslims care more about destroying this country than Christians do in preserving it and keeping it. That's just the truth. You can't even get pastors out here. How many pastors did you see yesterday? Me, that's it. That's terrible. That is terrible. How can you speak truth to power? And how can you keep the fidelity of our Constitution and our government and preserve our founding fathers if you don't even have pastors involved? That's terrible. It's the worst thing. Everybody should leave their churches and come to mine.
Pastor Lorenzo Sewell. I always appreciate talking to you, my friend. Nice seeing you yesterday. We'll talk again soon because this fraud and this pursuit of the case in the Sixth Circuit is very important, sir. Thank you. I'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah. All right. God bless. You're welcome, Steve.
God bless you. There you have it. Look, he's telling you that they have the affidavits of ballots being cast on the name of people that attend his church. They had no knowledge of those ballots being cast. And when they do cast ballots, he says those ballots are being changed. That's what the man says. Pretty important. I look forward to that speech at 9 o'clock tonight. I'll take a break and tell you about something very different after the break, right here on Daybreak.
Your next breakdown could cost thousands.
Unless you have endurance.
The world is full of fables, from Big Pharma's lies to gender confusion, atheism, and the fake news media. Enough is enough. From Real America's Music comes the powerful new single, Fables by DVS 7.0 and Red Rayo. This bold anthem exposes the lies of the enemy while pointing people to the life-changing truth of Jesus Christ. Pre-save Fables right now by scanning the QR code on your screen or search Fables on iTunes. Let's make this song number one. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because we have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you. Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because we have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
Well, it's time for a history lesson this morning, my friends. On the 18th of May, 1927, the worst school massacre in American history occurred at the Bath Consolidated Schools when a gentleman that worked there, Andrew Kehoe, detonated dynamite under the school. 45 people were killed. He was one of the victims that day, if you want to call him a victim. But it was mass murder. It was a bombing of a school, an elementary school. My mother taught in that school years later after they rebuilt what was left because half the building didn't go off. 500 pounds of additional dynamite was found under the other half of the school. But strangely enough, to this day, there's no memorial to the Bath School disaster. No memorial, no headstones, no names listed anywhere of those that died that horrible day in May 1927. Chris Hagerman is joining me from the Bath School Museum Committee because he wants to change that. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
This is something I've been familiar with my entire life because I grew up not too far from where this bombing occurred. But for most people around the country, they've never heard of the Bath School bombing or the 45 people that died or the massacre that occurred that day just before school was to let out for the summer. I mean, it's folklore in Michigan, isn't it?
Yeah, you could say that. We've, as the Bath School Museum Committee, have worked hard over especially the past about 5 years, to really get the word out because not many people have heard about this.
It's been 99 years. No grave markers made for the victims. No memorial, but you're working on that. You have a plan for a memorial, and for those watching, you can see that's what the school looked like. And the problem was Bath was kind of a rural farm town. When the bombs went off, communication was terrible. Cars didn't drive the way they did now. We didn't have super highways to get emergency crews there. People were buried in the rubble. Children were buried in the rubble, some alive, some dead, right? That's how this played out that morning.
Yeah, Steve, that's correct. Since then, after the disaster, nobody really ever talked about it. It stayed pretty much dormant until probably about the 90s when a middle school principal did a story on it, and survivors, they were probably in their 60s or 70s. They realized they needed to get the story out. Since then, the museum committee has been trying to bring awareness to this disaster to memorialize the victims. And as we move forward and we have more abilities to share our story, such as your show, we can get the story out a little bit more.
And like I said, I have a personal connection to this because my mother taught in that building, the part that they rebuilt. She taught there, and she told me, I mean, I was a little kid, and she was not teaching there anymore when I was born, but she told me in Bath, Michigan, when she taught there, you'd see people limping around town who had been maimed and injured in that explosion decades earlier. I mean, it was something that lingered through the generations because of the injuries, amputations, permanent disfigurement, all of that for the people that survived, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Some weren't just physical injuries, though. They're, mental injuries that people were scared to share and didn't want to talk about. So there was a lot of that. My grandfather was a survivor as well as 3 of his siblings. My grandfather was buried under the rubble. I don't know for how long. Any amount of time would be horrible as a 9-year-old.
Yeah, and your grandfather, if I remember the story correctly from the last time you were on, there was another child laying on top of him who did not survive, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, yeah. And so as you mentioned, earlier, there's not really a lot of memorials or anything commemorating the folks that died that day or were injured that day. So what we came up with is a grave marker program where we want to place a military-style grave marker that sticks in the ground next to the headstones of those who had died in the disaster. We're also creating some that will memorialize those who survived but are now passed.
It's a remarkable thing you're doing, Chris, and I think you're doing the right thing, because these people are forgotten to history for the most part, except for the work that you're doing with your committee. Now, on the screen, my friends, is a QR code. They're not trying to raise a lot of money, just enough for the grave markers. And you can help to commemorate that horrible day in 1927. Happened in May, like I said. Chris, what's your goal? How far do we have to get?
We're looking to raise $6,500. These grave markers are custom made specifically for the museum. We're working with a company called Gettysburg Flag Works. It's a national company, so these are made out of aluminum. They're going to be forged in aluminum, so it should be a pretty nice memorial. But yeah, we're looking to raise $6,500. We launched the GoFundMe last night, and we're already at just a little over $1,000. So we're getting really close. We've done a good job so far in just a short amount of time. But we created a GoFundMe for people to donate to it. We also have a website, basquemuseum.org. You can see on your screen there that you can go and either donate to.
Let me tell you this, Chris. Let me tell you this. Go to the QR code, donate now. Jeffrey just said he's throwing $100 in. I'll match that. Folks, we don't have very far to go here. $6,500. Let's make sure that these children that lost their lives in May of 1927 are not forgotten to history. Let's remind people of our history, not bury it. No pun intended. Chris Hagerman, really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Steve.
Again, that QR code is available. There's a GoFundMe. It's the Bath School Disaster. Bath Consolidated Schools. 45 people, mostly children, 38 kids, and some teachers. Horrible day. Let's help them reach their goal. It's not much. It's $6,500. If you lost it, email me. I'll make sure you get the information. I'll be right back.
Old school online security tools leave you half. The world is full of fables, from Big Pharma's lies to gender confusion, atheism, and the fake news media. Enough is enough. From Real America's Music comes the powerful new single, Fables by DVS 7.0 and Red Rayo. This bold anthem exposes the lies of the enemy while pointing people to the life-changing truth of Jesus Christ. Pre-save Fables right now by scanning the QR code on your screen or search Fables on iTunes. Let's make this song number one. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access. Plus, commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Hello, all you Ravagers. I'm Billy Howell, your old buddy Carefree Largo from the chat, and I'm thrilled to be part of the Rav family. When I want to be heard, I use my Real America's Voice.
Hi, this is Chris from Wisconsin, and I love Real America's Voice because we have great news and a great chat family. God bless all of you.
right, time for sports now with Brock Palmbush.
With a look at sports, I'm Brock Palmbush. The World Cup final match is now set as Argentina scored twice in the final minutes to rally and defeat England 2-1 yesterday in the semifinals at Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Lautaro Martinez scored the game winner in stoppage time to give Argentina the win. They'll now face Spain in the final match on Sunday in New Jersey's MetLife Stadium. England will play France in the third-place game on Saturday in Miami. There were 3 WNBA games last night. It was Chicago over Seattle 95-90, Minnesota beat LA 96-87, and Golden State won at Indiana 88-75. And Norway's Soren Werenskjold won yesterday's 11th stage of the Tour de France. Two-time defending champ Tadej Pogacar still holds the yellow jersey. He's got a 3.5-minute lead entering today's 12th stage. That's a look at sports. Back to you, Steve.
All right, I'm going to throw that up there one more time, that QR code, to help out the memorial for the Bath Consolidated School bombing of May 1927. It's there. The number of people that have responded already is remarkable. People have never heard of this. If it had happened, during the time of television and social media, it would be everywhere. But because it happened in 1927, Kehoe worked as the janitor in the building. And he ran to be the local clerk and lost the election. And he was also angry about increased property taxes. People asked, why did he do it? He was said to be a difficult man. That's an understatement. So after he blew up the building, he returned to the scene of the crime, driving his vehicle, also loaded with dynamite, called over the superintendent and principal, and detonated the car, a car bombing in 1927. Again, 38 kids were killed, 45 in all, and people have just never heard of it. $6,500, we can do this pretty easy. Let's get a memorial, a grave marker for the people and the children that died that day, and for the families that still live in that part of the world, so they can remember what happened. Let's preserve American history. I'm in for 100. How about you? Let me know. We'll take a break and be back with another hour of Daybreak after this.
Is full of fables, from Big Pharma's lies to gender confusion, atheism, and the fake news media. Enough is enough. From Real America's Music comes the powerful new single, Fables, by DVS 7.0 and Brett Rayo. This bold anthem exposes the lies of the enemy while pointing people to the life-changing truth of Jesus Christ. Pre-save Fables right now by scanning the QR code on your screen or search Fables on iTunes. Let's make this song number 1. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access, plus commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.